Well, hello, hello, hello. This is Donna Reiners, and I'm subbing for Peter in the know with Peter No. And he's out gallivanting in the Greek islands, along with a lot of other people that earned a trip to Greece. How absolutely amazing. I'm so proud of everyone and so thankful and so excited. For those that got to go, it's always amazing. And just very, very thankful. And so today, I offer a little bit different than our beautiful and wonderful and amazing leader. And so I'm going to take us into a little bit of training. I called today to live or not to live. That is the question. And so I'll go ahead and go into the share. And we will go from there. And thank you all so much. There we go. And I'll leave the muting up to you, Jen. So thank you all for being here again. To live or not to live. So one thing that I have noticed in this business is that it is indeed an opportunity to go on a journey of personal change. It's really been a transformative journey, and I know that it will get more and more transformative. There's lots of challenges that come along our way, challenges that we never thought in a gazillion years we would ever get to have, personal as well as professional. And so I called today lives. So live and lives. I love my little acronyms. So it is to live intentionally, victoriously, effectively, and supernaturally. Those are my thoughts for today. And the first thing is to love yourself, to embrace yourself, and to have laughter, to develop and cultivate a self-love with yourself that perhaps you've not thought of before, that you didn't think you could have. Embracing your own qualities and your strengths. Also, laughter therapy for L. I'm telling you what, laughter tells your body that everything is okay, even when it's not okay. If you can let yourself laugh and let yourself believe it's okay, even though it may not seem okay, it may not feel okay. It's a powerful tool for stress relief. It's a powerful tool for emotional well-being. Laughter boosts our immune system. It releases endorphins. It's like nature's best medicine. And then also, go out in the sun, guys. If you're in a place where you can reach the sun, please do. Because that positive energy, it will really help you have a better perspective. It's funny what a walk in the sun will do, even though it might be blazing hot like it is here in Texas. It will be really contagious and it will uplift you because the sun has some kind of healing properties in it. It helps our bodies create vitamin D, and it just helps our whole body respond to the whole idea of repairing itself and restoring itself. And then being intentional. Are you being intentional in your life? I really attempt to be intentional on a regular basis, but I'll tell you, sometimes I wake up and just go, go, go and stop and go, wait, what was I thinking? Where's my intention? Where is my deliberate steps today? And then you find yourself going crazy, don't you? So setting clear goals, if you can set them the day before, that's helpful. Defining some objectives for the next day. Don't do so many that it overwhelms you. Just do enough that it's measurable, it's doable. And even if for instance, that you're going to have 1,000 distractions, if you could just have one thing done, it's for some of you, it might just be washing the dishes. Come on, let's get real, right? But have an objective. Have an objective regarding making calls, having an objective regarding talking with your neighbors. And if you can't get out and about, talk with the people to your left and right. Call people in your phone. Do something with clear a clear goal. And that clarity is going to fuel your motivation, and it's going to direct your efforts, you see. And also, I thought about money. I thought about, why are we not intentional with creating a savings plan? Listen, in the beginning, sometimes the money's not like flowing in the way you want it to, right? So if you could just take a percentage and put it aside, even if it's 5%, that $5, that $10, put it in an envelope, hide it, call it your she money, call it your he money, call it whatever you need it to call, but put it aside and put it away so you don't see it and you don't think about it, so that you can develop a strategy for financial security, for personal security, because every dollar saved up is a step towards your future. It's going to help you maintain momentum when you have intention. Keep your goal simmering on the back of the stove, right? The back of your head. Always have your goals moving, and give yourself permission to make consistent progress, no matter how small. Those small steps. We just had a story the other night with a woman who has not stood in years, y'all. And she was standing up to 60 seconds. Now, that may not seem like a long time to you, but it was a huge amount of time for a woman who has not been able to stand, has not been able to walk. So that was a significant step for her. That's progress. And what may seem small to us is key. It was huge to her, and she celebrated. Focusing on health, prioritizing your activities that strengthen your body. Strong bones are the foundation of a vibrant life. Listen, when you go out in the sun, maybe you could walk for a few minutes. Walking strengthens the bones, doesn't it? It strengthens us. And being victorious, we've got loving and living, and we've got having intention, and now we have being victorious. Have you ever thought about what causes a person to be victorious? Have you ever studied the success of someone who was victorious? In your mind, they're victorious. They don't have to be famous. My mother was someone nobody knew. And yet, in my heart, she was victorious. She left the planet way too early, but she was victorious. You know what her steps of victory were for me as a little girl? She was there for me. She was my best friend. She was my closest confidant. She was successful to me. But do you know what she was to the outside world? She was just a mom who stayed at home and never went anywhere, and wore polyester pantsuits with socks and a hat, and just really was overweight and kind of homely. That's all she was for the people who didn't know her. But for me, she was my victorious queen. And so what sets the people apart that you think are victorious? What's their mindset like? How do they handle adversity? You know what? My mom fought. And I'll never forget, I even asked her, she had taken some steps and made some decisions regarding some experimental things. At the time, they were experimental. Now, in conventional wisdom, fighting fast-growing cells, it's more normal. But then, it was really more experimental back when I was a kid. And I asked her, I said, Mom, why would you do this? And she just looked at me and she said, because I want to live. I want to live. I choose life. And it really impacted me as a child, as a teenager, that my mom's words, even though it did not end up where she stayed alive, the length I felt like she should have lived, her attitude was, I choose life. Her attitude was, I choose to live. And for me, she was my hero. And, how about you? Are you visualizing victory for yourself? Are you creating a vivid mental image of what is success? Listen, some of you, your success may be getting out of bed, and nobody knows that that is more success you've had in years. Listen, I know the real deal. Listen, I know the real deal. Maybe you put on your shoes for the first time in years and nobody knows. Maybe you've gone to a neighbor and talked to them about what you're doing to help people with their health. And for you, you're shaking in your shoes, but they don't know it. Listen, visualize your victory and feel the emotions associated with achieving your goals, with that neighbor talking to you, with you putting on your shoes, with your brushing your hair, with your brushing your teeth, with your going to the door, with you walking to the mailbox, with you going out to a restaurant for the first time in years, for you walking a mile or two or walking 20 steps. Look at that victory and see yourself. And then I want you to practice the confidence that comes. Adopt body language. I mean, every single one of you, listen, I want you to sit up straight. Like sit up straight. Put your back, if you can, sit up straight, put your shoulders back. I mean, it gets a little loud and proud sometimes, but I'm telling you what, you'll feel better about yourself. And you'll come across as confident because body language has mannerisms. So stand tall, make eye contact, speak with conviction, speak with love. I'm telling you, you can do this. And what is a victorious mindset? What is it? What is the mentality of a winner? Do you know anyone, maybe online or someone near to you, that you have seen them adopt a mentality of winning? Do you have that? Do you believe in your ability to overcome any challenge? You know what, y'all? I had conversations today with a precious man, and they have lost a couple of children, adult children. This man is almost 80. And the pain he's in and the hurt he's in is quite something. And my compassion meter, is so strong. I'm like, oh, Lord. But he's kept moving. He's in the patch technology. He's on a different team, but we're local together. And I'm just loving on him, And these setbacks has caused he and his wife to grow. These have been hurdles that are breaking them, but yet also causing them to be stronger all at one time. So in real life, are you celebrating your success? Are you acknowledging your achievements, big and small? Are you looking at the loss you've had and then yet you're getting up every morning? Listen, that is an achievement. That is huge. That is building your confidence again. That's seeing your progress to choose life on a regular basis. And then I just want to encourage you, you may not think much of yourself and nobody may know, but when you are moving forward, you are leading with victory and you are inspiring others. You may not even know that people are watching you. You may not even realize that you have influence. We talk about these influencers that have thousands of people, but you know what? An influencer is somebody who knows how to love their neighbor. An influencer is somebody who knows how to talk with their friends. An influencer is someone who knows to be consistent and be persistent. I'm telling you, I've had people come back and thank me for being so persistent. And at the time, they called me a bug. Remember how Marcy shares how she had these different companies and things, and this one man said to her early on, "What do you have now? Come on, I don't want to talk to you," and just wouldn't talk to her. About the fourth or fifth time, I think I got the story right, he's like, "Fine, what is it? Just get it over with and tell me." Because she was consistent and persistent. Did he enroll in the account with an account? Absolutely he did. Why? Because this is an amazing product. That's why. So be persistent, be consistent, have a good attitude. You are influencing people around you. You're motivating people around you. You may not even realize that you are a beacon of positivity. And the E, so we have loving ourselves, we have being intentional, we have being victorious, and we have being effective. Are you crafting an exit strategy? And what do I mean by that? I don't mean an exit strategy off the planet. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, are you accessing current situations? Are you seeing where you need to transition? Maybe it's transitioning with a social circle. Maybe it's transitioning. Maybe you're moving from a business into doing this more full time. Maybe you have teenagers about to leave the house and you're transitioning into being an empty nester. Maybe you have been, you're divorcing and you're transitioning into being single. Maybe you have lost a spouse and you've turning into a widow and you're like, oh my goodness. I want you to evaluate your present circumstances. Don't shy away. Identify the areas where you need to change, where you need to improve yourself, where you need to go out in the sun again, y'all. And I want you to define your ideal future. You may have had the last 30 years of a crappy life, in your opinion, but you have an opportunity to envision what you want to be and where you want to be. And you can create a clear picture of that desired income in your brain, in your mind, in your heart. And you can start planning strategic steps, outlining actions that need to bridge the gap so that you are really doing this transitioning and you're being healthy as you do it. So start breaking down big goals into manageable tasks. And I know I keep coming down to really simple things, but it's been on my heart so much since last week. So there's somebody, and you have not really been out in the public in a long time. And I don't know if it's from the shutdown that took place a few years ago. Maybe you have gone through some very strong devastation and you have great insecurity right now. Maybe it's been a while since you've been in the light. I want to encourage you to open your door and take a walk. I want to encourage you to remind yourself that you're alive. Remind yourself that you're alive. I want you to execute that with determination. I want you to take decisive action. And I want you to stay committed, because you can have a vision of a better future. It doesn't matter what you've been through, what I've been through. Listen, there are times when we are devastated. And if somebody says they're not, well, I do know a couple people that did not allow themselves to be devastated. And honest to God, it was really, for them, it was their truth. And they're still in that place. Was it devastating, the loss they incurred? Yes, it was. But they kept moving. They did not stop. They did not feel like stopping and grieving for 3 years was going to be an effective use of their life. And they were able to keep moving. And I have great and amazing respect that they were able to do that. I want to be like that when I grow up, So I want you to visualize your success. I talked last week about maybe creating a vision board. And I don't create the normal vision boards, where you get and those are amazing and we need those. But do you have a vision board for your life where you're visualizing your goals, where you're taking yourself out of transition into position, where your dream may not be to, go to some fancy place when you retire, or it may not be to where you have to have a lot of money, or it may be the simplicity of maybe you just want to have a friend. Maybe you want to increase your strength so much that it is clear that your bones are strong and that in 5 years you're a strong man or woman. Those are dreams. So keep your motivation high. Keep your focus. Etch out time for that goal. You can cultivate awareness of your thoughts and actions. In your day, if you start seeing yourself weak, if you start doing this, you're just hunched down, make yourself sit up straight. Tell a friend, hey, listen, every time you see me start doing this, I want you to tell me to stand up straight. Get somebody to prod you, to be in agreement with you that you're going to not just be confident, but you're going to be strong, so that you can be mindful of your thoughts and mindful of your actions, because this kind of mindfulness is going to help align your behavior with your goals. And then maybe you're not a journaler. I used to be years and years ago. I'm not like I was. You know what I do now is I get out my voice recorder and I voice my thoughts. I tell you what, I don't know what I'd do if somebody found my journal to my phone. Lord help us. My. Because I let it all hang out. And I do have a trusted friend that I feel like I can say anything to, and she transcribes them for me because I think one day it might make a good little devotional for somebody, you know. I'm just thinking through those things. So I want you to document your journey as you're moving toward this exit plan, because this effective decision to just really move forward, even though it looks like you're 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, you're still making a step forward. So I want you to celebrate your small wins, learn from your setbacks. Do not allow this to cause you, whatever you're going through, do not allow it to, I know everybody has a different opinion, y'all, but if you feel like you're getting run over by a truck, I think that you need to just see yourself picking up the truck and throwing it off and keep moving. You know, part of the end was lives. So we have live and we have lives. And you could, LIVES could stand for lives, right? And there is a place that's supernatural where you can develop a spiritual sight, a spiritual insight. One of the things I recommend is to cultivate a stillness where you practice being still, where you practice being present with yourself. In quietness, you can hear whispers of wisdom if you wait long enough to hear it. If you wait long enough to hear it. Sometimes we short circuit ourselves and we just don't wait long enough. And in that place where you're being still, in that place where you're becoming aware, in that place where you're being conscious, you can strengthen your spiritual beliefs. You can have a strong faith that provides clarity and purpose in your life. If you've fallen away from that type of lifestyle, I beckon you to return, to allowing yourself to be strong again, to seek higher guidance, to be open to supernatural insight, to be open to receiving answers from unexpected sources, and trust your intuition. You know, there's an inner knowing on the inside of it. There's a voice inside. And that voice inside is our navigator. And there's a realness to the navigation when you know you're not alone. You can feel like you're alone. But when you tune in to hearing the voice within, when you tune in to finding the faith within, when you tune in to finding stillness long enough to hear the thoughts and ideas that come from a higher place, that's going to become a tool for you. It's going to become a navigation system. It's going to be your GPS, and that GPS, you're going to trust more than Siri, and you're going to trust more than when you get in the car and you plug in the address and all of a sudden she or he starts talking to you. You can trust the voice within when you cultivate it long enough to move forward with it. And then in the supernatural place, you can be building a strong root system. So you can practice meditation. What is meditation? You know, everybody's got a different idea of what they think meditation is. And for me, meditation is being still and listening. I have a friend years ago, he's passed away now, but he used to read this book, his favorite book. And when he would find a passage and all of a sudden it would just highlight to him. And he told me one day, he said, Donna, I've been looking at this one little sentence for a year. I'm like, you are kidding me. And he would literally just meditate on that one sentence. He would visualize a sentence. He would think about what was in that sentence. He would look at every single word in that sentence and until it was alive to him. And he would get divine insight. He would get divine wisdom. And, you know, sure enough, I watched him be so in tune with the navigation system inside that he was fully prepared for the future that was in front of him. and he was unafraid, and he faced some pretty strong things, but he did so from a place that was strong and rooted with mental clarity. He did that on a daily basis. He didn't do it for hours and hours. He had that one word, he learned it so much and knew it so much that it was with him all the time, every day in his mind. It was always in the back of his head simmering, because that was the thought he was thinking about all the time. And he'd just get all this different understanding. Just beautiful to me. Also, you can pray. You know, there is a place of spiritual connection where you can use words to pray. And then there is a place of prayer that's more like listening, where you're looking for solutions or you're just looking to connect. And then there's journaling. How many of you journal? We were talking about this earlier. I voice journal. I do not write journal anymore, but I love to voice journal. And I more do that on a regular basis. I don't do it weekly. I don't know if I could handle just journaling weekly, but if you journal weekly, tell me in the chat, do you journal weekly? Do you sit daily and write a few thoughts? Do you have a effective journal you use? If so, write it in the chat so we can know. Maybe someone could find some insight. I have several journals. I have one called the 5-minute journal. I have another one called How to Heal Yourself that's got instructions in it. I have another one called Gratitude Journal. I have a Mindfulness Journal. I have lots of different journals and different ways of addressing that. And then I was talking to someone, I have a membership at HotWorks where, you know, you go sweat in an infrared sauna and you pray to God you don't die. And she was telling me that 3 days a week she does that, but the other 3 days a week she goes on a nature walk. I'm like, you know what? I'm just not a bug girl, y'all. I'm just not. I mean, if I had to live in another country where there was lots of bugs, I would have to have some, I don't know. I'd have to have some organic, non-poison way to keep those things from me, because they are not my favorite. But so nature walks are not my favorite. Plus it's Texas and it's super hot. But it's a great way to ground yourself, right? You're grounding yourself. Your body is on the earth. And you know what I believe, y'all? I believe, let me see what else I've got left here. Hold on a second. I want to share you something I believe. Okay, I'm going to stop this for just a second. This is something I believe, and y'all can think I'm crazy if you want to. And you know me, I'll get to the messages. I'm going to finish and then I'm going to go through all the messages and we'll talk. I believe that we have all this beautiful energy inside of us, okay? I believe that we are made of this beautiful energy, that we are made of the sun and life, and we have this life force inside of us, right? And in that space, in that life force that we have, I believe that when we are barefoot, when we're walking on the ground, that the life force in the ground rises up to us, and the life force in us goes down, and that we connect. Now, that may seem crazy, but we have got this energy inside of us that has to be recharged somehow, right? Well, you can't recharge it walking on cement. You can't recharge it just, you know, putting on your boots every day that are made of that rubber stuff that aren't even touching the ground. You've got to somehow figure out a way to ground yourself. We're all still figuring out. Nobody's got it all together. You know, you can get grounding sheets. I've got some of those. I got grounding pillows. You got a grounding mat. Oh my gosh, you name it, I got a ground for it, right? But the best ground is the outside ground. I'm telling you, even if you just go outside and stick your feet on the ground for just 5-10 minutes, it's like you're recharging yourself. That's what I see. I see it as a recharge, a recharge, a recharge. We all need to recharge. And so I think that there's a oneness between us and the planet. I really do. And it's like we recharge one another. That's what I personally believe. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to go try to do all that research. It's just not my thing. But I do believe that we're all connected. I know that even the rocks have energy. Everything on the planet has energy. You know, I was using a friend of mine had a situation, and we needed something to help with that, and we used lanolin. Lanolin from New Zealand, a real thick goop. I don't have it in front of me because I didn't plan to talk about this, but this really thick goop. And you know, in 4 days, her issue was gone. That was on her backside. It was gone. Well, you know what? I believe what happened. What is lanolin? It's from wool. What's wool from? Do you know that wool is a 500 frequency? Linen is a straight up linen is a 500 frequency. Do you know, but you put them together, they cancel each other out. I believe that frequency of that 500 repaired and restored that woman's backside. And so the frequency in which we can operate, if we can operate in a higher frequency, a better frequency, little by little by little by little by little, then I believe we're less offendable because we're operating at a higher vibration. We're not just operating high and then the next day ticked off and want to slap somebody's head, you know, we're building. And I think being outside in the ground is going to help us with all of that. I really do. And so I'm almost finished, and then we'll chit chat a little bit, and I'll go into the messages. So integrating your live principles in the morning, loving yourself, starting your day with self-love, starting your day with affirmations. I want you to write out your own affirmations. If you have an affirmation that you've been using for years that you know has fruit in your life, put it in the chat. Let us see what works inside the heart of an individual. Set a positive tone for your everyday. And midday, be intentional. Take deliberate steps toward your goals. Review your objectives. On the back of your head, have your plans in front of you, or what you're doing that day or saying that day. Is it in alignment with the direction that you have intentionally set for yourself? In the afternoon, so we got morning, we got midday, we got afternoon. Are you being victorious with your attitude? Are you inspiring people with confidence? Listen, I'm not saying fake it till you make it. I'm not saying just put a smile on your face and go, yeah, I'm all good, when inside you feel like you're just going to be gone. But I will tell you that when I have had devastation, when I will put a smile on my face, you know, I have cried myself through, I have smiled myself through many tears. I'm just telling you straight up. I certainly have. Knowing that my body needed to recharge and my body needed to move forward. And that if I continued in devastation, or if I continued in despair, then I may not want to get up out of bed, you see. So these choices we make, they really do matter. It's like you're filling a glass, and then the day's going to come when you're going to need to drink that glass, and you're going to hope it's full. And then in the evening, what about you reflect on your progress? Continue to visualize your progress. Continue to plan for tomorrow. Write down what you're going to do the next day. I don't have it with me in here, or do I have it? Hold on. Oh, let me show you what I got. Let me show you what I got. Let me show you real quick. So I bought this, let me put on speaker, hold on. Dun, da, da, da. I bought this daily plan book. And it's one that I can be in charge of instead of it having every date on it for me. Now, I normally like dated calendars, but I will tell you, for me, it's been wonderful because I can just write my information on it. I can put the date on it. And then if I don't use it the next day, guess what? I've not wasted a piece of paper. As a matter of fact, I put 3 days on one of these days because they were also intertwined with one another. And then, you know, of course, I write the contacts that I make and meet and people I'm going to see and people I'm talking to and the different projects I'm doing, you know, what I'm working on that day, because I can look back and I can see. But guess what else? I can see what I did that day. Like tomorrow, I don't have anything on tomorrow yet. I don't. It's in my phone. My schedule's on my phone. But when I wake up in the morning or tonight, I'll probably write down a few things that I have planned tomorrow. I'll do it tonight, like I was talking about, have a plan. I'll write it down. But tomorrow, this will get filled up with things that weren't on my plan. And then I can look back a week from now and go, what was I doing that day? Where was I? What was going on? And I can see the effectiveness of my time. And I think that's very important for us. I really do. I think it helps our minds to see that we didn't just fiddle fart around for 12 hours in the day, right? Okay, I'll finish, share my screen. And then, of course, at night, you want to have a supernatural experience. You want to practice some stillness before you sleep. You want to strengthen your spiritual roots. Because when life hits, and it does, it's hard to be strong in a minute. To me, strength is we're building our strength when things are fine. For the day we need it when things are not so fine, you know? Because it does not matter whether you have a lot of money, you don't have a lot of money. Sometimes it's going to rain. And you're going to want to have an effective way to have energy and have clarity and be strong enough to handle and to influence around you in a positive way. And so you want to continue to overcome challenges in your live journey. You know, we all combat self-doubt. Listen, I don't know if there's anybody I know that doesn't have self-doubt somewhere, even if it's just a little inkling that just pops in. And it's helpful to have those positive affirmations I was talking about. It's helpful to remember past victories. Listen, write down some victories. Boost your confidence. If you wait for somebody else to boost your confidence, you might be a long time waiting. And if you're a procrastinator, look, I got some procrastination things. Although I got to admit, I was here at 2:00 today, Central Time, and I thought, well, nobody's coming. I'm like, that's okay. I guess I won't do it. And then I realized, wait, I'm 30 minutes early. But sometimes, you know, I'm not on it. I don't have it all like right that minute. But to keep from doing that, if you'll break your tasks into smaller manageable steps, it'll help you celebrate small wins to keep you motivated. Because at the end of the day, at 2:00 in the morning, your doctor's not going to keep you motivated unless you're married to them. Your holistic friends aren't going to keep you motivated unless they live with you. You know, that TV's only one way. You might look at it, but it's not going to talk back to you unless God just does something crazy. So I'm just saying, you've got to have your own small wins to keep yourself motivated. Listen, I have had to have that because I have had some. I bit off more than I could chew this year. I'm just telling you, I just straight up did. And I'm like, some days I'm like, oh my goodness gracious, I don't even know how to proceed today because I bit off more than I can chew. And, but I'm learning to celebrate these small wins. I'm learning, okay, I'm going to do this today. And I have that from 2 days ago. I did something that to me was huge. For somebody else, it'd be small, but for me, I was like, oh, and I'm still celebrating. Yes, I did it. Yes, I'm moving forward. And there's also a fact, if you're in a space where you don't have support, some people don't. Some people do fake it until they make it. Some people have neighbors and friends that are negative. They have spouses that are negative. They have work situations that are just flat out negative, and they just soon not even want to show up. So as much as you can limit yourself. But the best way to do that really is to have some positive with you, because you can't always ixnay yourself from your situation. It doesn't work like that. And that person's negative might be somebody else's positive, and your positive might be somebody else's negative. So we all got something we're working on, right? And then I want you to embrace your transformation by celebrating your progress. Look, acknowledge how far you've come. I don't know how long you've been doing this, and I don't care how far advanced or limited you are. I want you to celebrate every call you've made, every no you've had. I want you to celebrate, because every step forward is victory, and it's worth you celebrating. And at the same time, you need to stay flexible, and you might need to adapt your strategies. You might need to switch gears and change some things, because as you grow, you'll outgrow whatever you're doing, and you'll have to either add some things or subtract some things and figure out a new foundation as you move forward. And you will be inspiring people as you're transformed. because your story is going to be somebody else's motivation. And remember, you are in a personal growth, but it is a lifelong journey. I know mine is. I am always learning. I'm always evolving. I'm always moving forward. And finally, I just want you to know, you have got to believe in you, because at the end of the day, you are the most important person that is in your life. Your spouse may not be supporting you. Your friends may not be supporting you. Your you may have been out of the game for so long, and you have not been supporting yourself in so long that you don't even know what to do. You know, you may not even know. You may not understand how to move forward. This is all I know, is you have got to believe in you. You have to, because if you don't believe in you, why would somebody else believe in you? Now, I have believed in some people when they didn't believe in them. And I would say to them as I was counseling, listen, I know you don't believe in you right now. I know you don't want to live right now, but I'm believing for you right now. And until you can believe in you, you can believe in my belief for you. I have said that a gazillion times. I have. And it is effective, because somebody does need you to believe in them. But if you understand that, then you've got to believe in you. You've got to believe in you. And so we have some that are writing things in the chat. Let's go through them. We have someone saying, hello, Chris. Thank you for your, yes, this is my necklace. Live, thank you. Love the acronym. Live, loving, lives, loving intentionally, victoriously, effectively, supernaturally. There's a Habakkuk 2, wrote the vision, make it plain. Jen sent a heart. And precious Jenny, miss my mom every second of the day. She was victorious. I know you do, honey. I know you do. My godly mom is still terribly missed. Yes, I know. It's very difficult, y'all. But they would all want you to continue to live. One step at a time, tiny steps of progress. Celebrate victory. Thank you, Patty. Someone said, someone who is authentic has influence. That is excellent, Jennifer. Now that is powerful. That is so true. If you are authentic, you have influence. I was sharing with that with someone else recently, as a matter of fact. It's very, very true. Cry with those that cry and laugh with those who laugh. And those times when we can't, it's okay. Take a little break, and we know we will come back stronger. That is true. You will come back stronger. I will say, though, the caveat to that is I have met people that have been in bed for about a year because they gave themselves the grace to stay in depression, and that depression moved into despair, and that despair moved into, I don't care. And it just about killed them. So we don't want that. So grace and taking a break, you've got to look at you and know you. You got to know the real you. And if the real you can't take a break, don't take somebody else's advice. You take your own advice. You do what works for you. You know, do what works for you. Don't do what works for somebody else. I remember once, years and years ago, y'all, I was involved in a writing project with a pastor and some friends, and I was exhausted. My dad was ill. He was slowly passing away over months and months' time. And I was really just in a depressed state. And I sought counsel from people I normally never seek counsel for, like never. For some reason, I sought counsel from 3 ladies that I literally would never seek counsel from, but other people sought counsel from them all the time. Like that was their go-to. They were never my go-to. Well, they all individually, without sharing with each other, because I didn't tell them, I was, they said, oh, honey, you just need to take a break. You just need to lay that down. Their mama was like, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. You need to lay down. Oh, so guess what I did? I laid it down. And do you know, About 3 weeks in, I told the pastor I was working with, and he didn't say anything. He's like, okay, if that's what you want to do. That's all he said. Because he knew I was called to do it, but we don't control each other. About 3 weeks in, I woke up in the middle of the night. I sat up and I just knew that I knew if I did not get my butt up and go back to working on that curriculum, that I was going to miss part of my calling and part of why I was on the planet. And I was like, oh, crud. So I literally got up at 2 o'clock in the morning, went to my computer, and listen, that time the computers were this big, y'all. I'm talking 80s, guys. We're talking big old fat computers. I got up, turned that thing on, and went to work back on what I was supposed to be doing. And do you know, because of that, I had some severe breakthrough in my life. But if I had followed those women advice, I'm not saying women are bad. I'm just saying they had their mama hat on. They had their empathy hat on, not their compassion hat. Compassion takes action. Empathy just agrees with your sadness. Don't agree with my sadness. Don't agree with my issue. Bring me out of it. You know, if you can't get in the water with me, then throw me a doggone life jacket, but don't leave me in there to just drown. Heck no. And somebody may not like you later for you disturbing their depression, but doggone it, if they're alive because of it, then I think they'll get over it. I'm just saying, y'all, think about where you are and what's going on and how you're living for. I know I see Terry really kind of laughing, but you understand what I'm saying, right? I'm just saying you got to know you. You got to know you. I like the daily journal. That's good. Early morning, good. It is helpful. That's good. Those entries are important, y'all, because you're communicating with you. You're talking to you. I know we all like to say I'm talking to God, and maybe we are, but I'm at the same time, you're talking to yourself, reminding yourself, listen, you're alive on purpose. You've got a reason. You're doing it on purpose. I journal my notebook, my phone, 1 time a week, if not daily. I journal when thoughts come to me and I don't want to lose them. Very good. I journal my Bible, noting people, circumstances related to passage, along with noting the date I read. Oh, good for you. I recharge. Yes, there'll be a recording. It'll be a YouTube recording. I release any and all blocks to my financial success and accept and allow all increasing gifts of creation and cultivate only financial abundance. Woo, we'll all take that. Woo, we say we receive. Started walking my dog at night until I felt comfortable with being out. I started walking my dog at night. Good for you, Jenny. Good job. She started walking her dog at night until she felt comfortable with being outside. That was wisdom. Good for you. Very good. I've definitely done affirmations over the years, but it's not consistent. You know, the affirmations are for you. They're for ourselves, right? And they don't just have to be, I know, I mean, I've got hundreds of affirmations, but at the end of the day, my affirmations are the thoughts and ideas that I tell myself, Of all things, and most important for best lives is forgiveness that trumps everything for everyone. And when you are in contact with loving yourself, you're more apt to be forgiving. Yes, there will be a recording. Thank you. Love and care for self first. It is not selfish because you can't pour from an empty cup. That's why they say put on your seatbelt first. Oh, here's the affirmation. My body is healthy. My body is strong. I am love and I am light. My soul is complete in He who made me. This is my affirmation. Take yourself from transition into position. Listen, people are just keep waiting. You can just wait so long, guys. Eventually, you have to make your own decision, and you have to be willing to make the mistakes that come with those decisions. And sometimes we make decisions like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks in, 3 months in, we're like, oh my God, what was I thinking? And we think, oh no, this was not what I was supposed to do. And sometimes you're just faced with having to finish. And sometimes you're just overwhelmed because there's so much coming at you at one time that you said yes to, and you can't say no. Hey, I got something like that going on right now. I said yes to some things. I should have just said yes to one of them, but no, I said yes to 3 of them. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious, it's a little overwhelming. But I can't change. You know why? Because a couple of these things are very strategic for my life over the next 5 years. And so I can either suck it up now and do the hard thing, or I can have regrets in 2 years that I didn't do the hard thing, because 2 years is still going to pass. Life is still going to pass, y'all. If you can figure out a strategy now, a year from now, you'll be in a different place than you are now. If you are too tired to take a walk, if you just do nothing, then you'll have nothing. Maybe start walking in your house where it's air conditioned, because it is hot outside. This is Texas, 100 plus, right? Or take yourself to the mall. Do something that's proactive so that you can say 3 months from now, 90 days from now, you're in a different place than you were 90 days previous. Whether it be writing in a journal, maybe attempting to pass a test, calling people on the phone that you've been afraid to call. Listen, some of these people, I was talking to someone recently that they've been through such hard things. I mean, such hard things. I was like, oh my goodness gracious. And I've been through hard things, so I mean, I have compassion. But this person's also got fear. Fear to call people. Fear to talk to people. And finally, I'm like, you know what? Listen, I have nothing but compassion for you, but you have been through devastating things, and this is not fear. You might call it fear, but it's not fear. You've already faced what's really fear. You've faced real life fear. You've faced real loss. You've faced real lack. Listen, I know someone whose family was destroyed in a fire. 5 children. Only one left. Children and grandchildren. That's life. That's devastating. Those kind of things will either make us fearless, because at that point you're like, I don't care what anybody else thinks at that point, you see, because you're moving forward, right? You're living forward. I just encourage you to take action in your life so that tomorrow you're in a different place. A week from now, you're in a different place. A month from now, you're in a different place. I mean, we're looking at our eating right now. We're making some changes in eating. We need to. Why? My husband's dad died of a heart attack, and his dad died of a heart attack, and we don't want him to die of a heart attack. We're just being straight up truthful about it. You know, we're going to go see a new cardiologist and say, okay, what you got? But guess what? In the meantime, we're the ones who need to do intermittent fasting. We're the ones who need to make the changes. I mean, if you just go to a doctor, they're just going to pop a pill in your hand and tell you, I hope this fixes you. Right? Sometimes even holistic doctors, same thing. So we have to make our own significant choices on the inside to how we want our lives to be 30 days from now, 60 days from now, 90 days from now, 120 days from now, 6 months from now. And somebody else may not see your progress. That's why you have to celebrate your own progress. That's why you have to have your own list. That's why you have to make a decision regarding your own life, because nobody is responsible for you but you. Nobody. Nobody is responsible for you but you. And the more you own up to your own responsibility, the less fearful you will feel. The less fearful you will feel. So the affirmation, I will recognize this is significant in me. I am worthy of a fantastic life I'm creating. I'm deserving of all the success that comes my way. Excellent. You know, that's something I've been thinking about, Miss Patty. I don't know where that would be or how that would be, but you're welcome to contact me. Jenny has my info. The 80s computer, I know, right? They were so big, you're like, oh my goodness. And now they're like this thin. I'm like, woo. And then we would get mad. It's like, why aren't you printing? Well, before you had to wait for like 10 minutes and it would dot, print with those little dot things. Oh my gosh. We are so spoiled. I have a question off topic. Where's the last week's recording of the In the Know? It's actually it's both in the In the Know Telegram group. It's also in the Facebook In the Know chat group. And I believe it's also in the Evolve Facebook group. So they're all there. Oh. No, I don't think so. How is that last week's recording, honey? Oh, it might be. I don't think so. I don't know what that is, Jenny. How can it be on my YouTube? Okay, we'll talk about that later. I have one affirmation, thankfulness, and it keeps me happy, confident in my creator, and full of love. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Cardio miracle, plus no seed oils, olive, coconut, or avocado. I agree. We're coconut oil only. Chris, if you're still there, here's my phone number. Chris, text me. There it is. I just texted you in response. Just find my number and text me and I'll find it for you. Okay, we're right at the 3:30 Texas time mark. I hope that you were encouraged today. It's always my desire that you be encouraged. Patty, I don't know where you are, but I don't know if you're in my phone number or not. Anyway, my number is 281-948-5642. 281-948-5642. Okay. Well, I am so thankful. Appreciate y'all so much. Been a huge blessing. I always enjoy it. Thank you for trusting me with your time. It's always, I really see it as an honor. I don't take it for granted. I don't think I'm all that in a bag of chips. I mean, I'm kind of transparent, but I'm not as transparent as I really am, but I'm transparent enough for the intention, which is that we not give in and we not give up and we not turn back, but we keep moving forward, because we're going to not just make it, we are going to learn how to thrive and not just survive, you see. And I know that we wait for some spiritual guidance to do that. I get that. I'm with you. However, that being said, if you don't encourage yourself, if you keep waiting for a voice from the outside to encourage you, it might be a minute. And if you're also waiting for a voice on the inside to be your encouragement, it still might be a minute. So in the meantime, encourage yourself with your own smile, with your own words, with your own thoughts, with your own actions. Encourage yourself and tell yourself, I'm going to make it. And I'm moving forward. So I bless you. This is Donna for In the Know with Peter NGO. Tell him thank you for letting me be part of this next time you see him. I appreciate it. It's so funny. I'm usually not available during this time. That's why I'm not on, because I have appointments during this time that are some health appointments. But for some reason, the last 2 weeks I've been available. Isn't that crazy? It's just every single time it seems like God just makes a way. It's just so funny. Anyway, I bless you guys. Let me just go ahead and end the recording. Blessings, blessings. Oh, wait, hold on. Macy, you have a question? Macy, do you have a question? Do you want to text me your question? I am attracting an abundance of people to a health.
I'm sorry. No, I don't have a question.
Okay, honey. Bless you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to end it with this. I am attracting an abundance of people to a healthier lifestyle. I'm going to make it. Woohoo! That's good. From Marilyn's iPhone. Okay. Blessings, guys. I'm going to stop our recording now. That was good. I forget how to stop it. There we go.